creative voices today with some, servings from Hibiscus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
All right, Keith, on to you.
My name is O'Keefe Marshall, and you know, it's been a long way. It wasn't an easy road. Um,
Don't don't be afraid to mention all the potholes and roadblocks, because that's a part of people see success and see the what they figure is overnight success sometimes, but they don't understand the length and the long road that you have to go through, the sleepless nights, all that kind of stuff. So don't
I
feel
don't think
any
your
way about
program's long enough.
it. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a long road. I'm gonna try my best to keep it short. Coming from Jamaica, my dad was always in hospitality. My mom is also in hospitality, and you know, both of them was good in hospitality, I should say, really good, customer service, food-wise, and being a part of that, seeing them actually hustling, doing catering and stuff. One of the biggest love I had was my dad used to work at a hotel in Jamaica called the Pegasus, and on the weekends he used to take me there, and the customer service and the food quality back then, and that's in the 80s, you know, was superior, and just seeing people smiling and just enjoying the love of what Jamaica had to give and what the Jamaican people had to give. When I was at the swimming pool and seeing a lady with a drink, like, just imagine like a hibiscus, she coming from the States, and she just enjoying it, was a great big part of my life and growing up and seeing that. I actually went to college, I actually went to how you call that, when I was in high school, there was a trade school called BOCES, and I went to it for computer technology, and all the kids in the class was bright, and I was just trying to do technology because my mom wanted me to do technology, and remember when we took the A+ certification test, and let me tell you, man, I failed that test about 4 times, and everybody who was there before me, passed with flying colors. And I kind of felt down because I always was a winner. I was a track star, I was a soccer star, so I always liked to win. So I changed, and when I went to college, I went for computer graphics, and computer graphics was beautiful, a lot of people. Then I met a girl who was in one of my class, and she went to a hospitality class, and I followed her because she was beautiful. And I sat down in the class. I was a rebel back then, and I sat down in the class, and I was like, yo, this is what I should be doing, And it's crazy that my dad was in hospitality, and with this girl bringing me, I just thought it was a sign. And with being in that class, they took me to Walt Disney World where I did my internship. And in Walt Disney World, I worked as a rescue ranger. And what a rescue ranger was is basically somebody in hospitality would work in different fields between front of the house and back of the house, on the line. And one thing with Disney, I wasn't a Rastafarian at that time, so you had to make sure keep a clean cut, and you can't point a finger. You had to show your hand this way if you're trying to tell somebody something, where to go, or where to exit. And that take a turn in life because Disney was on top of their level with customer service. They used to bring in a lot of people. I work in different restaurants with different chefs. When I got older, I even worked for a company like the Marriott, the Hiltons. I worked with Chef like Gordon Ramsay, Chef McDavid, and it was countless hours, countless nights. I actually dropped out of school when I had my first daughter, and doing that, I just wanted to make sure I had a roof over her head, because prior to that, before I had my daughter, I was living in the road. I was living in my car most of the time, and I used to have to brush my teeth at McDonald's and wash my hand, to hide in McDonald's and come back fresh, So people, it's a lot of ups and downs before you reach where you're at. When I was in New York, I was in New York for about 25 years, and worked with some good people, good restaurants, and it built me. I used to go to work from like 7 o'clock in the morning till like 12 o'clock, and it was pretty cool. I left New York to come to St. Kitts. My dad needed some help. I remember the first thing I told my dad, I was like, you cannot pay me, I was like, you can't pay me to come to St. Kitts, And he laughed and he was like, no, just come and see what I have to offer, you know. And I came down and I keep on telling my wife and my dad, I remember when I reached St. Kitts and I came off the plane and I smiled. It was the first time I ever smiled and my teeth could close because in New York, the pollution, when you smile up there, it's like you just stick on your teeth and you can't bring it back down, and the fresh air, and I was like, wow. I was like, where I'm at, you know, back home in St. Kitts. And from that, you know, I helped my dad with a restaurant at the airport, and now I have a restaurant at Brimstone Hill. And it's just hard work, you know, treating people right, you know, getting the word out of what hospitality is supposed to be in a restaurant. Roger, you know, it's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
It's not easy.
Non-stop.
Non-stop.
Sure.
All right. Well, I think those are some great starting points. And when we come back, I guess we'll take a commercial break. And when we come back, we'll touch on you mentioned very briefly, but not in any detail, that you have a restaurant at Brimstone Hill. Restaurant at Brimstone Hill? Never heard of that. And Roger mentioned the location that he found back in 2007. So when we get back after the break, we'll get into the location aspect of the process.
In the meantime, I'm going to shake up a cocktail for us. Okay?
Yeah, sorry guys, sorry you couldn't actually be in here and taste the rumtini. That's what we're going to start off with, Roger.
Yeah, we're going to start out with the rumtini. It's our spiced rum, triple sec, lime juice, a little bit of sorrel, passion fruit. But the good news is, in the next 6 weeks or so, you'll be able to order this online in the U.S., okay?
Wow.
So, by the
All
can.
right.
All right.
All right, so off to commercial break, and we will be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on winnfm 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on winnfm 98.9.